boating accidents. Folks are out traveling, feeling better about the economy perhaps.
If you've noticed more emergency helicopters flying throughout the skies, officials say there is a reason. UT LIFESTAR helicopter service is noticing more calls than usual.
What's already a busy season for LIFESTAR is even busier this summer. You heard those calls up 30%.
10 News anchor Brandon Bates joins us to explain why. Brandon?
Well, tonight, guys, I talked to the director of LIFESTAR about where this uptick might be coming from and if it's affecting their ability to respond to other emergencies.
UT LIFESTAR consists of 5 helicopters that work a 100-mile radius around Knoxville, responding to emergency scenes and transporting people to hospitals.
Say you're down in Monroe County and need to get a patient up here to Knoxville and traffic is bad on 75 North. We'll fly right over the top of that.
So, for example, if you're in a crash and you need to be airlifted from Sweetwater, traveling by car could take you up to 50 minutes without traffic. But if you're airlifted, it would only take you 12 minutes to go 47 miles.
This is LIFESTAR.
Right now, the crews are working double time because it's trauma season.
That will last through about September or so it kind of makes sense. Summertime, people are out enjoying themselves.
And while a spike in calls is typical, what LIFESTAR is seeing this summer is way different than last year.
The middle of May to now, about the middle of July, our requests are up about 30% over last year.
Walker says weekends are always the busiest. For example, lately they've seen up to 40 calls from Friday to Sunday.
Definitely seen more boating accidents. Folks are out traveling, feeling better about the economy perhaps.
And Walker says despite the uptick, her crews are not stretched thin at the moment.
And with the 5 aircraft and these guys, they're pretty good about turning these flights around quickly and ready to get back out there into the community.
And it's not just locals that they're responding to. LIFESTAR's director also says she's noticed more emergency situations involving people from out of town. Robin and John.
All right, Brandon, thank you.